evening. Thank you for listening to download our show today. We're going to have a very special guest today. And before I get to that, I want you to know that at YouGoin'Pro, we help athletes develop proficiency, assist in the passion for the game they love. Today's episode is episode 32. We'll be talking about life as a minor league player. What is the difference between affiliate players versus indie players? And also, we'll be talking about how to make the transition from playing overseas from the United States. And last but not least, we'll talk about some of the MLB season changes that have been happening this year. By the way, his name is the very own. He's a minor league coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Kieran Mattison. Also from South Carolina. And also, with that, he is a married man with two lovely, beautiful girls. And I'm not going to say their names, but that's for you to find out later. He coaches for the Pirates. He's a minor league outfield and base running coordinator. He also has coached in many different organizations. He has started back early in his career. He's a third base coach for the France during the World Baseball Classic. So he's been around. He's also the manager of the national French national team, and also was a undrafted. He can correct me during the show. He was undrafted and had an opportunity to play pro ball. With that being said, he has fought all the fights and he has conquered all the fights. And by the way, his name is Kieran Mattison. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good, Coach Larry. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I could have said a whole lot more, but I had to, cut your resume up a little bit because you've been around, and I just want to make sure that I respect your time. But with that being said, let's talk about the beginning. Let's talk about the beginning, the genesis of your baseball career. How did it all take place in South Carolina? You said you're from South Carolina. That's where the roots come from. So, what was that like playing baseball in South Carolina?
It was fun, man. I was, born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina, and I was the youngest of four boys. So for me, it all got started in the backyard playing
Okay.
pickup ball. We used to call it roll to the bat, where basically you hit the ball as far as you can if you want to keep hitting. And we had wherever you catch the ball, you had to try to hit the bat on the ground, and that's how you get your turn to hit. So
Okay.
that's where you kind of learn to hit the ball hard and you learn accuracy. But um, we played every sport growing up, and
Yeah.
um, as a childhood and even in middle school, I started playing high school baseball in the seventh grade.
Seventh
And
grade.
yeah, in seventh grade, I was on JV, not knowing the magnitude of that, just playing the next level, and chose not to play baseball my eighth grade year
Okay.
because I was playing. I spent the summer traveling to different cities playing AU basketball,
Oh,
and it was a lot of fun. I was on a really good team where I think we went 1-0, we won 113 games and lost like six
what?
in the summer. And it was only eight guys on the team, and we used to press everybody. Like
Oh,
we used to,
wow.
our practices used to be really hard. We used to be 4-on-4 in practice, go full court for 2.5 hours straight, twice a week. And we were all from different schools, and it was pretty cool. And
Man.
the experience was so fun. I actually almost decided to give up baseball altogether once I went to high school. And my JV football coach actually was the varsity baseball coach at the
Oh,
time. And
okay.
he said, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the spring on the baseball diamond. I said, Coach, I'm not playing. I said, I'm done. Called my friends, some of them were playing, some of them, they were playing basketball and football. So I was like, I'm just gonna play basketball, football, and just let baseball go.
Okay.
And thank the Lord, my mom, she didn't force me on, but she just kept asking me, "You sure that's what you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she just asked me from football season all the way throughout basketball season
Hmm.
to where she's like, I'm your mom, and I
Right.
think that's a poor decision because I believe you're gifted at it. You've been gifted since you was a child playing little league.
Right.
I think you should give it a try, and I did, and you know, I ended up playing. I played one game on JV my freshman year in high school. I ended up getting moved up to Boston and played all 4 years in high school on Boston. And I started right field my freshman year. Then they moved me to third base my sophomore year, and
Wow.
And the rest was history. I played all three sports. And my senior year, I didn't play basketball because I had an injury in football.
Okay.
So I had a rehab during basketball season.
Okay.
My high school basketball coach, he's still mad at me today because I didn't play my senior year. I told him,
Uh,
man, my shoulders was bad.
right.
And,
Right.
you
That's
know,
funny, man. That's
college,
funny. Go ahead.
well, it just, I went from having a lot of, I got recruited a lot stronger for baseball than I did football
Okay.
coming out of high school. Then I know our basketball wasn't my future because of my height,
Right.
but I had some smaller schools that recruit me for football, but
Okay.
everybody recruited me for baseball. All
Wow.
the big Power Four schools.
Okay.
And then my senior year, I had a big injury. I dislocated both of my shoulders,
Mm.
and so I had, you know, I think word got out, and then I didn't have the arm strength during my senior year,
Okay.
and didn't have a good senior year. And only college Charleston offered me out of high school,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I ended up going there my freshman year, and then I transferred after my freshman year to East Carolina,
Okay.
and then played there for 3 years. Was part of some really good teams. We won the conference championship every year I was there. Went to the regionals, went to the super regionals my junior
Wow.
year, and
Man.
uh, I was terrible my first 3 years of college.
He said
I
terrible.
didn't because I dealt with a lot of social stuff
Right.
uh I went from not wanting to play baseball in high school anymore to this is all I'm playing, not playing football any longer. So I was missing football, and then my freshman year they said, hey, we want to they recruited me as an outfielder, but they want to make me a
Mm-hmm.
pitcher only. So
Uh-huh.
they want to convert me just strictly pitching. Because I pitched some growing
Right.
up and all the way through high school, but it wasn't my main position.
Correct.
And I almost stopped playing in college because of that reason. And
Man.
my mom was like, well, you're on scholarship. We can't pay for college because it's too expensive, so you got to stick it out.
Mm.
And I did. I ended up embracing it. But when I transferred to East Carolina, I said, okay, I'm gonna play football and I'm gonna play baseball because they recruited me pretty heavy in football because my brother played there,
Okay.
and I honestly also I'm gonna go back to being a position player as well, and I just punked out when I transferred because I had to walk on my
Yeah.
freshman year. I didn't get
Okay.
offers. I mean, my sophomore year, the fall of my sophomore year, basically I was a walk on
Okay.
because they didn't have any more scholarship money, and then um, by that spring I was on scholarship.
Okay.
And I was on scholarship for the rest of the time I was there, and then played those
Position.
3 years and didn't get drafted, and didn't know what I was gonna do.
Okay.
And I was actually enrolled in summer school, trying to working towards finish my undergrad.
Right.
And I said I'm not gonna leave school to go play independent ball out of college. I'll wait till I'm done. But
Right.
I said if a professional team call organization, I do what I need to do.
Correct.
So fast forward to that summer of 2002, July, Kansas City Royals called.
Mm.
Scout by the name of Spencer Graham. He gave me an opportunity, and they sent me to rookie ball down in Haines City, Florida. And I ended up signing signing there, got on the next flight, ended up getting I ended up taking the incomplete in my summer classes because I know I was enrolled in classes that fall, so I finished the two classes I was taking this summer down in the fall, and then uh, played rookie ball that summer,
Right.
and then went back that fall and graduated in December of 2022, 2002, and then my first full season in 2003, ended up playing till 2010,
Mm.
and I
Man, you've
played,
had you got a Kieran, you've been around the world. I mean,
yeah,
and you've been. It seems to me, just based on what you're saying, you know what it takes. Even if no one looks at you, you make it happen. Because a lot of
yeah,
times these kids don't make it happen. They're waiting for someone to give them something. I
yes,
mean, I'm just based on what you're telling me, your story. And I don't know how tall you are, I don't know how fast you are, I don't know what kind of hitter you was, but that's because I'm bringing to the next question to me, because it seems to me you're a three sport athlete.
Yeah.
So do you think that was some of the things you had to deal with to go through college because you wanted to play multiple sports and you couldn't do that at the time?
Yeah. Because like every year in baseball in high school, like my first day of like any activity in baseball was a game. Because our basketball team in high school was good,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to the playoffs every year.
Okay.
So I remember my junior year, my first game, I hadn't played base. I had played, American Legion ball in the summertime,
Right.
and we finished early July. So fast forward to the spring of what March, February, late February, March of the next year. That's several months. I hadn't picked up a ball or a bat
Right. Right.
because I've been playing football and then transitioned straight to basketball.
Right.
And then I remember my junior year, first day, I hadn't swung a bat since
No.
the previous year, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting shortstop in the middle, like, and I'm batting third. And so it's like that was my high school career. It was like I didn't have the extra reps like everybody else. I was just
Oh.
athlete, man, and went out and just played. And then, you know, that's probably why they put up crazy numbers like most people in high
Correct.
school.
Correct. Correct.
But in the summer ball, like the American Legion ball, that's where
Right.
I actually got the stronger looks from colleges because I was playing every day. I work out
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
football in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, go and play American Legion ball three to
Mm-hmm.
four times a week. And
Mm-hmm.
so my tools were on more on display in the summertime.
I
And
got you.
I
Yeah.
remember a lot more college coaches approached me. And then I remember, my parents were very adamant about us going to college and getting a degree. And I remember I used to have pro scouts come to my games in high school, not knowing I'm just killing my draft stock. And I
Right.
was like, oh, I'm going to college, and I'm going to play football and baseball. So I was
Right.
just,
Right.
I was being ignorant and transparent, and so I don't know, what the scouts probably thought, because I remember I got introduced to like three or four scouts in high school after the game, and I didn't know what was going on. My parents, they were ignorant to the process.
Right.
Like,
Right. Right.
they experienced recruiting for football for my oldest brother, but
Mm-hmm.
they never, baseball was foreign to us as far as
Okay.
recruiting and how it works. I didn't know about the minor leagues. I didn't know nothing
You didn't know
when I was in
nothing.
high school. No,
Wow.
I was just playing because I loved the game.
Because we love to play. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
that's what most of us do. We're not, no disrespect to this generation, but we're not this generation that we had travel ball. I didn't have travel ball. We had American Legion ball. We had Little League, Pony League. We didn't have
yeah,
all this extra training, and we didn't have the money.
no,
We didn't have the money.
we
So
did,
if you ain't got
no,
the money, you ain't playing. You
yeah,
like you said. And what I like about you, and this is just for all the listeners, don't despise small beginnings. you
no,
know, because a seed can be grown if it's in the right soil. And you
yeah,
were in the right soil to get you where you are, because most people that play sports want to be a pro. I mean, that's just the boy,
yeah,
in all boys. Most boys want to go pro, most boys. But with
yeah,
that being said, it's interesting how God has orchestrated your path. He has directed you and how you went about it, because most kids will quit. You just didn't quit. I mean, you just, and I can see you getting upset, like, man, I didn't play, and you see these other guys swinging the bat, hitting the ball, because you haven't had the reps.
mm-hmm,
That's with anything. That's life. That's like you're coaching now. You see guys coming to practice or spring training, and they've taken some time off. They didn't have to tell you the answer. You already know it. You can just look at them. I mean, after
mm-hmm,
so many at bats, you're like, okay, man, what have you been doing? So which
yes.
which leads me to the next question. Going to college, what position did you play? Because we didn't even get to that part yet. What position did you play? Because, and I didn't even know about your high school stuff situation. I mean, that was just a blessing within itself. You're just a freak athlete. Period. You just love to
Yeah,
play. And my
yeah.
question to you is, how was that transition coming from? How was the mental transition? I'm sorry, the mental transition coming from a three-sport guy going to college at a D1 school. How was that?
Hmm.
How did you adjust to that?
It was honestly a challenge because, like, I remember I got recruited to be an outfielder in college,
Okay.
and I remember taking BP on the field my first few practices. I mean, I was a 5 o'clock hitter. Like I'm gonna launch some stuff and BP over the fence, and I didn't really showcase like my hitting skills. And I actually my high school coaches, Tom Buckwall and Tom Wall, dad and son, man, they were great for me because they kept it simple. When I came out from basketball, they showed me the fundamental stuff, but they just let me play. They didn't try
Good.
to take the athlete out of me. They just let me just go play.
Just be
And
you.
when any feedback, they said they just kept it simple. And I actually had that same style today. But when I was in, transition to college Charleston, and they was
Hmm.
like, "Hey, we want you to pitch," and I was angry, man, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to. The reason why I love baseball was that I love hitting,
Mm.
and I love hitting. And to be honest with you, 18-year-old kid, I didn't, I wasn't understanding mental stuff then, but
Right.
I, I said, okay, you want me to pitch? And I said, I'm gonna go out here and strike everybody out because I'm mad. Like if I ain't gonna get the hit, y'all ain't gonna hit either. And so that fall, man,
Oh.
that fall ball, I tore it up. Like I struck out a whole bunch of dudes. I
Okay.
remember one time a senior was hitting, and I got behind like 3-0, and
Okay.
I threw like three straight curveballs and struck him out. He got mad. He's like, "What you throwing that fastball?" I said, "Hit the curveball then if you want to hit." So I didn't. It didn't matter to me. I wasn't afraid of nobody, and
Right.
honestly, like pitching came easy to me
Okay.
because when I was in high school, they'd be like, "Hey, I want you to throw a bullpen," and it's like, "I'm gonna show you grip. Just throw it." And I used to do it, and it just honestly was like riding a bike. And
Okay.
pitching is hard, but
Yeah,
it
it
just
is.
came naturally to me,
It is.
and it was challenging, man. And then my freshman year in the spring, uh, I went into the spring. I was told that I was gonna be the closer in the spring, and it didn't happen. And I didn't handle that well. I feel like I was
Mm.
lied to, and I ended up uh, pitching sparingly, and so that was a uh, hard challenge for me mentally dealing with that. And I,
Yeah.
like this ain't the place for me. And like midway through the spring, I knew I wanted to transfer because both of my older brothers that were at East Carolina at the time,
Okay.
and I had some friends there. So I was like, I'm gonna probably transfer because this didn't feel like the place for me.
I get you. I
And
mean,
then
that
we
makes
actually
sense.
we actually played East Carolina my freshman year, and I just kind of liked the way they competed against us. And you know, they won their conference. They went to a regional. I think they went to the LSU regional that year. So like their mindset was matching the way I think. Like
Yeah.
we wasn't even talking about winning the conference. We was hoping to win the conference at college. So I'm not trying to downplay
Right.
college
Right.
Charleston,
Right.
but that's just my experience. So and the
Okay.
coach, I ended up transferring to East Carolina, and the head coach that I had got fired next summer.
Oh.
And by that
Okay.
time, I already had made my decision. And what's funny, the coach that replaced him actually was a coach that used to coach at Clemson that
Mm.
taught me the curveball I was throwing.
Okay.
And I still didn't do a U-turn and say, you know what, I'm not going to transfer. So I was like, how guys transferring now,
Right. Right.
I
Right.
I get it to a certain degree, but I didn't transfer because
Right.
it was easy. Like I transferred, I went from a scholarship to I had to be a walk-on, so
Walk
that
on.
wasn't an easy thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
just I just wanted better,
I
and
get you.
I wanted to pick the back up. I had more reasons. Wanted to be back in the football school. College Charleston didn't have football.
I get you.
Be closer to family, and it
Okay.
just made sense to me.
Yeah. That actually, uh, that makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Because think about it. Like we just talked about the transfer portal. All the kids now they just transfer because they can't handle transition or they can't handle
Mm,
no.
yeah,
But you said something was powerful. You thought about the family, and also you wanted to go to a school that had football, because you're a
yeah,
football player actually playing baseball. And a lot of times I think kids, and you can correct me, they don't think about all those other things when you do the transfer. Yeah,
Yeah,
they want to get the bag, they want to get the bag, they want to get the money, but what if you don't play?
yeah,
Or what if that's not a good fit? Which it's
yeah,
like you coaching with the Pirates. You may have somebody got traded coming from a different organization, and the way you coach and you're coaching them, and they don't they it looks like a good position. The position's open, but you coach different. You
yeah.
just you let them. It's just different how I'm just putting all the pieces together, which it brings us to the next question. Playing college baseball, coming from high school, coming from South Carolina, which actually I know about South Carolina because I got recruited in South Carolina. I got
Mm.
recruited by Anderson College. It was Anderson College then. It was Anderson University, so they
Yes,
recruited me
my
as well.
hometown.
Yeah, I remember that. So they recruited me, and I remember that big old center field they had. Cause I was like, he's like, I was like, all right.
See, that's where I played my little league baseball at, bro, in that stadium.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we didn't try to hit home runs, but we hit it over the outfielder's head. That's an inside the park home
Oh
run.
yeah, that
Uh,
center field is huge, like
Huge.
huge.
And try to
It's
cover
bigger
that
than
much
major
ground.
leagues.
Absolutely, it's like 420 feet in
That's what I
center
was
field.
telling people, and
It was like
yeah. I
like
mean,
395 in the gap.
correct. So I know this is not part of, but I gotta share this story with you because I remember because when I read your bio, you're from South Carolina, and then it said, where it's at, and I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, hold up, does he know about Anderson? And then I say he probably does because South Carolina folks know
Yeah,
everything about. I mean, come on, it's South Carolina. It's not
it's
like
not
going
that
to.
big.
Correct.
Yeah,
Everybody knows everybody for the most part, and
yeah.
you got great food there. By the way, they can cook. They know
We
how to
eat
cook.
good.
They know how to cook. So anyway, he recruited me coming from a JUCO, and I was originally a walk on too. By the way, I was a walk on, and I made a squad. And so this guy says, "Well, I got somebody looking at you." I said, "Who is it?" Anderson University, Anderson College, whatever. And I was like, "Okay, I'll go up there on a recruit trip." And I'm over at his house, and we're talking, and he's like, "Yeah, you run a 6.460, son." I was like, "Yes, sir." And he's like, "Yeah, I want to come on to the field, check the field out." So I went to
Yeah,
the field.
down in the dirt.
Listen, I went to the field and he told me this. He said, "You're gonna play center field." And I'm looking at him like this. You sure? I'm like, "No, I ain't playing center field here." And so I didn't go there. I decided not to go because of that. That was one of the main reasons. Like, man, I'll be running forever. I mean, I'm gonna
Forever.
run forever. If I misread the ball, it's a wrap.
Right.
It's
Inside
a wrap.
part.
It's inside the park. So anyway, I just had to give you that because I know you get a kick out of that one because I know about
Oh
South
yeah.
Carolina. I'm like, listen, the people says, well, it'll probably would have been a good spot. I went to school in Kentucky, which I later regretted it, but it happened. It happened. God taught me some lessons from that, and
Absolutely. Every step of the way.
you got to learn something from it. I mean, because
Yeah.
every time we think we got the right answer, only person knows the real answer and the right answer is
Yeah.
God.
It's
Period.
the Lord Himself.
He
Yeah.
knows. He knows the right answer. It's just, are you listening? So now let's talk about. We got on the tangent a little bit, but it's all good. So basically, you went from college baseball. How did you get into coaching? How did you get into coaching? From I mean, because you're an athlete. Bottom line. And why you pick baseball? You could have coached football or coached basketball.
Well, to give a cool little backstory, I remember probably after I ended up playing 9 years professionally. I
Okay.
played every level up to AAA, played international, Taiwan, played
Okay.
winter ball in Nicaragua. So I
Okay.
remember my mom and Scout decided me. It was like after my 6 year, I was like,
Okay.
hey, you ever thought about coaching? And I got mad at both of them. They weren't even together. It was two different occasions where they asked me about coaching. And I'm
Okay.
like, what do you mean? I ain't thinking about coaching. I'm trying to make it to the major leagues. And like I was one of those guys. Like I signed as a non-drafted free agent, but like I gave every all sweat and tears. Like I gave everything I had to try to make it to the major league.
Right.
Only thing I probably didn't do was I didn't handle decisions outside of my control well. But when it comes to effort and
Right.
preparation and maximizing every opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
that was me. And so when they asked me that, I thought they was trying to be like, hey, you need to hang it up because you hadn't made it to the major leagues. And then actually the very next year, I was living in Dallas at the time, and they offered me. I signed with a team. I said I want to stay local, and they started a new independent league in the Dallas area, and this team called the Louisville Lizards. It was the
Okay.
first year of this league, and they was like, "Well, we just starting now, so it ain't gonna be like what you used to for the stadiums. None of the teams have stadiums, so we're gonna probably have to play on high school fields or whatnot." I said, "Man, it is what it is." And so I signed with the team, and then they said, "Hey, what do you think about doing both, like coaching, being a pitching coach, and being our starting pitcher?" And I'm like, "Is it gonna pay more money?" And I was like, "Yeah, like we'll give you more money on top of it." I said, "Count me in."
All right.
And
Okay.
you know, like it was kind of like the first, cause I in the off season I did lessons to make ends meet.
Correct.
And, I kind of saw like then like okay, like I like the kids that had zero talent because I was like I'm gonna help them get better. Like
Correct.
everybody want the talented kid, like hey look at me. No, you ain't really you just stand out of the way. But the talented kids you got to coach. I mean less talented kids. So I was kind of sharpening my tools at the time, not even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was gratifying. So the parents would call you and like, hey, he did this and this. I'm like, that kid, I always say that's the kid. He put forth the effort. And I'm glad he get to see the effort that he put
Right.
in. It wasn't nothing I did. I was just a guide on the side. And
Right.
so fast forward to being a pitching coach and, also a pitcher, I had to really, like, I couldn't say nothing that I wasn't living as a coach. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like my leadership skills, everything is put on full display. A lot of my teammates were younger. It was like three or four dudes same age as me, and I coached them how I wanted to be coached,
Right.
and
Right.
their
Right.
respect for me was actually it was a really really great experience, man. Like they respected me. They followed everything I asked them to do because I led by example
Mm.
and not just words. And actually, the manager was a guy named Tom Goodwin.
Okay.
And it's like he was starting out coaching as well because he had a successful playing career. He was like, damn, let's see if I want to do this coaching thing. And it was his first experience coaching. And actually, he's now the first base coach for the Atlanta Braves.
Oh
So it was
wow.
pretty cool how we both had our first coaching experience together,
Wow.
and it was gratifying to do that. And then you know I ended up playing like 3 more years after that. But like I remember those 3 years after I actually had the coaching job, I was on different teams, so I wasn't coaching, but I never stopped. That mentality never stopped. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember like hitters on my team, it was like, hey man, like what you see me doing? Like you're a pitcher, what you see? And I
Right.
tell them, I said, won't you do this? Your next at bat, and they'll go and do it. Then they go come up to me like, bro, you were right. And next thing you know, I'm being a hitting coach on my team and not even know it. I'm just trying to be a good teammate.
Right. Right.
And because I always, even when I wasn't pitching, I'm paying attention to what's going on in the game.
Mm.
And so it's like once that coaching hat turned on, I never turned it off. Even
Mm.
to this day, so why sometimes after the season, it's hard to watch the World Series because you can't never turn that coaching hat off. And
Right.
sometimes I
You're
just
right.
want to watch as a
You're,
fan, but I
that's
can't.
right. That's
Even
right.
when I watch any sport.
That's right. You're right, brother. You're right, brother. Cause I'm the same exact way. I'm like, I can't watch this because he just made a stupid move. Why did he do that? And he knew he was going to do it. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, and you have to be disciplined. Put it that way. You got to be really
Yeah.
disciplined because, I mean, I'm like you as well. I can't really watch a full game. I can watch little parts of it, and then
Hmm.
I'll start coaching. I
Yeah.
just start coaching. My brain just clicks. And I'm like, wait a minute. If he struck you out on that pitch last time and you know where he's coming and you still swinging at it, you just struck yourself out. Yeah, he didn't strike you out. You struck your own self out. Yeah, I mean, because
Yeah.
baseball is not as complicated as people think, especially when you get to the professional level. You pretty much have a good idea for the most part, not all the time, you know, but coaching is coaching at all levels. It's still coaching. You still got to coach them from the grounds up. You said
Always, man. Even major league players want to be coached, man. Like it's everybody want to be coached, and good coaches take the unnecessary thinking out of it because they keep the main thing to be the
the
main
main thing.
thing, and
That's right.
they know how to teach. I always model myself like be the athletic coach. And what people like, what does that mean? Well, I need to be athletic enough to where I'm providing what that player needs in whatever given moment that is.
Okay.
Sometimes they just need you to listen. Sometimes they just need
Yes.
you to ask questions to guide them
That's it, brother.
on what they're seeing. Because for me, I don't want to be needed as a coach. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want them, I want to teach them and show them what they need so they can coach themselves. Because it's their career, and if they're able to coach themselves, they're the ones they can out there on the field competing and
Correct.
making adjustments. And
Correct.
it's like I don't want to be needed. I want to teach you or guide you so you can coach yourself. And eventually, if you end up, you know, good teammates coach each other, and then those good teammates sometimes they end up leading, turning to coaching themselves. So it's the game that just keeps giving,
That's right.
and that's what I think about, when I'm teaching.
So it sounds like if you're not correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like leaders leaders leading. Like
Yeah,
a good coach can understand himself and understand his players because he spent enough time with them, quality time. Not
gotta
talking about
spend
just
time.
baseball, not just baseball, because people think, well, I'm just coaching, but no, it's bigger than baseball. It's his life. Because
Yeah,
as I listen to you, I can play for you. I mean, because bottom line, every every player that has some kind of ability wants to play his game, but I want you to tweak me. I want you
yeah,
to tell me, listen, if I struck out 3 times, something's wrong. Something, and most of the time it's mental. Most of the time it's just mental. But I'm just saying that because I'm starting to think about some of the things you talked about, which is going to lead me to the next question, is being a walk-on. For people that don't get scholarships, with your expertise playing pro ball, going overseas, coaching overseas, doing all you've done, an undrafted free agent, can you give some encouragement for guys that didn't get a scholarship that wants to be on a D1 or D2 or D3 school? Can you give them some hope? Is it really bad being a walk on?
no, it's what's bad if you don't believe in yourself, if you're a walk on or not. You could be a scholarship guy, and when you get to that next level and you
That's
see
right.
other players just as talented, you can get intimidated. But
That's right.
for me, like I went to like I signed really late my after my senior year. I got kind of nervous and because nobody like all the teams that I thought was gonna offer, they wasn't making offers. And I went and played in the All Star game and the high school All Star game in South Carolina,
Okay.
and played the outfield and had a really good game. And I feel like I showed that that was all the top high school players in South Carolina that year, and I
Mm-hmm.
showcased my skill set.
Right.
And and only one team, which was College Charleston, made an offer, and then transferring I back to myself because I
Right.
knew my work ethic. I knew my belief in myself, and I was had belief in the Lord that He gonna
Right.
provide
Make
and make
make
a
a way.
way,
That's right.
even when it you know didn't look like a way.
Right.
And uh, even then, like just being full transparency, even when I decided to transfer to East Carolina, there's a JUCO in Greenville, North Carolina, Pitt Community College that was known for having a strong baseball program, but I was ignorant to junior college baseball when
Right.
I was, coming into high school.
Right.
And to be honest with you, if I would known what I knew now, I probably would have gone that route because they offered me a full ride at JUCO and one of the starting pitching
Right.
position. And I said, no, I'm gonna go to East Carolina.
Mm.
So, I feel like there was a poor choice at that time, but I
Right.
had
Right.
no awareness. My mind
Yeah.
was made up to go to East Carolina,
Yeah.
and you know, even my first 2 years at East Carolina, I didn't pitch as much as I desired. So, you know, a lot of frustrations, been mad myself, been mad at my coaches,
Right.
but I always worked hard. And, you know, I remember sometimes I was so mad I walked from the field about a 45-minute walk because I didn't get a chance to pitch that day. And, I just stayed at it, man. And
Right.
my senior year, I just said, you know what? I can't go out here and just think about practice. So I got to go perform. And I
Right.
went back to that mindset I had as a child in Little League Baseball and just went and had fun and played. And
Mm.
my senior year, I had a .6 ERA.
Mm.
And I just, I'm just going to focus on just playing this game and competing.
Right. Right.
Not trying to be perfect with my mechanics, not trying to be afraid to make a mistake. They're afraid to walk. I just say, you know what? I'm going to beat you.
Mm.
I'm
That's right.
going to beat you. And, I ended up having a great year my senior year, but I was going through mental stuff in college, but didn't even realize it. But I never wavered on my ability.
Right.
Like I always believed in myself. Like I did never waver. I just was wondering why I'm not performing at the level that my expectations were.
Right. 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 Well, and I think you already had the answer as you're older now. You kind of figured it out because, like you said earlier, you kept saying over and over the guys that are practicing every day, getting the at bats, getting to see the pitches, and also with that you get confidence. The more you see it, the easier the mind. It's like automatic, and
Yeah.
you had that gap, and I can relate to that because I had the same gap, and so you start looking at these other guys like, man, this guy, and I can outperform him. I'm not gonna let you outwork me. But the problem was you wasn't getting the reps, and like you
Hmm.
talked about that earlier, it's like a pitcher what you know about pitchers, if you pitch the first game, the opening game, and you don't pitch to the seventh game, that's a lot of rest. The
Yeah.
confidence is I mean, the brain is like, man, what am I here for? So, which that leads me to the next question. I want to talk about now. Let's talk about being a pirate, minor league pirate um, coach and transition coaching in overseas. Is the talent different or is it? I mean, the game is the game, but how is it different between those two? Can you explain?
What do you mean by coaching overseas? You talking about when I played overseas or
Yeah,
coached
my
overseas?
bad. Coach, when you're coaching now versus coaching overseas,
Um,
is
so
it
when I
different?
coached overseas, I mean, for me, it's different, but in subtle ways. Like for example, when I finished playing, I did lessons and coached some, amateur select ball teams out in Dallas, and then I moved to France because I
Okay,
wanted to go back to school to get my MBA. And this was a good training ground for my coaching tools. And like
okay,
I didn't speak French, but I ended up managing a club team, and that's why truly my confidence in my coaching skills improved because of not being able to speak the same language and then getting, I had someone translate, but I don't, at the time, you didn't know if you were translating the message, the right message of how you convey your message. And so, being over there, I learned to create good drills where the drills teach the player more than me doing all the talking. And so, you know, did they have a talent level that, players have where, I'm dealing with in pro baseball? No. But I believe if you playing the game, whatever
mm-hmm.
your talent is, I'm gonna try to maximize it.
I
If
got you.
if you're amateur, like I can teach you the fundamentals of the game, and the fundamentals of a skill to to maximize whatever you have in there.
I got you.
And fast forward to when I started coaching with the Pirates. I started off as a fourth coach in AAA, and the same tools I was using
Mm-hmm.
when I was coaching France with you working on AAA guys. I just started, you know, fine tuning my skills, sharpening my tools,
I got
and understanding like, okay, I may not use a monkey wrench in this situation. I'm gonna
you.
use
Correct.
some pliers.
I got you.
So once I got in the pro ball, I started getting a little bit more sharper with my tools. So how I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna approach this, if this guy has this need, how I'm gonna approach it. And to fast forward even today, now I'm a coordinator and overseeing the outfield, the base running, and
I like that.
controlling the run game with the pitches. Now I'm even more efficient with my process, and I'm still learning a lot. And the more I learn, the more I know what I don't know. But it's
Mm-hmm.
great because it's helping me learn to be even more efficient.
I like that. That's profound. What you said. It's like the word said, and all that get an understanding.
That's
I
it.
caught.
Get an
I
understanding,
like
get a
that.
deep
I like.
understanding.
I like that, man. Because if you, because some guys don't. They want to do one job. You like, listen, just put me out there. Wherever you put me, I'm gonna do the best I can, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
learn something I didn't know. But I mean,
Uh,
that's a very servant spirit. You're a servant. You don't
that's
mind
it.
serving. You just
I don't
serving,
mind,
right?
sir.
You don't mind serving, and
Yeah.
that's a great attribute because with that you understand what honor is and humility.
Yeah.
A lot of guys
Yeah.
don't know the difference of humility. I mean, even your path, the way you walk through this whole path of baseball and how God has orchestrated your walk. I mean, yeah, when we're young, we do things that young people do.
Yeah.
We
And
do young.
he still guide us with our intentions, even when our intentions are not good or not. He still give us grace and he guide us,
That's right.
and he still work those things out for our good. And
Mm,
I know it's the good Lord that opened up those doors, even when I tried to force my way through some doors. He still, you know, who knows if I would have played for Pitt Community College, I could have got drafted,
right.
and all that, but I don't regret none of it. Like I believe that built character, that
Correct.
built empathy when guys
That's right.
struggle. That built like, hey, being at the top, being a very highly talented and recruited guy out of high school to having an injury where nobody's giving you an offer.
Right.
And it's just, you know, I always tell people I think, injuring my shoulders my senior year because I never had injuries like that in all my life playing three sports. I feel like it was a blessing in disguise
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was one of those guys. You show me something, I can do it right away. I was that, I'm an athlete, and but when I injured my shoulders, I had to learn how to be. I had to learn how to do that skill. I had to learn. I had to break things down and learn. And
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't experience that, I don't know if I would be the coach I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if something come easy to you, you don't break that thing down and understand the process. That's why it's
Right.
uh so so dope what Dion Coach Prime is doing because most Hall of Famers don't go back and coach because they're not good at it. They were actually talented enough, and
Right.
they learned to hone their skills, but
Correct.
like that's different. That's different when a Hall of Famer that was that highly skilled go back and start coaching. And I was living in Dallas when he started the Troop Academy. He had
Yeah.
baseball,
Yeah.
basketball, football
Baseball,
teams.
football. Yeah. Yeah. He did.
And I remember seeing his teams, and they were fundamentally sound. I said, man. So people think, yeah, Jackson State was the first time. No, he was been out there coach. I
Right.
witnessed it, and so I said all that to say, like, you just experiences in life prepare you for where God is taking you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I learned to adjust and adapt according to whatever's in front of me because I love to serve. Like I pitched for 9 years, but I've been coaching everything but pitching since I've been in pro ball. I've been a manager for six years, and that's why I love managing because I love the game. Because
Mm.
I can connect with every area of the game instead of being pigeonholed in one area.
I like that, man. Hey, God bless you, brother. God has tremendously blessed you, and at least you have the ears to hear and do what He tell you to do. Because obedience is better than anything. Obedience is better than
Yeah.
sacrifice. So you're doing. I mean, I thank God for the opportunity of having you on, man. And I've got a few other questions, but we're at that 45-minute mark, and I'm going to respect your time because I respect people's time now. With that being said,
You can
something
ask me
called.
those questions
Yeah,
if you
I got a few
we
questions
got
for you.
15 minutes. Yeah, we keep
I,
going.
I got some more for you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. So tell me, who was one of the guys out there you coached that is in minor league and went into the bigs that you can say that really for the listeners. This is for the listeners that you can say. You don't have to say his name, but that you've seen a drastic improvement from coming from Double A, Triple A, that had an opportunity to go play in the bigs. That you've seen some growth. I'm just trying to give some hope for the listeners.
Uh,
If there's a
it
situation
was
where,
a picture from it was a picture that I had the opportunity to manage in 2019.
okay,
He was an older signing from Dominican Republic. He
okay,
signed instead of signing at 16, he signed at like 19, 20, and he didn't pitch in Dominican. He didn't pitch in rookie ball, and we were in short season eight just
okay,
before they cut all the leagues in 2020. But I was managing in Bristol, Tennessee, and we're winding to extended spring training because a lot of the rookie ball players they come into extended camp, extended
okay,
spring training. And I remember I show up at the complex real early, and because I go and work out before all day gets started. And when I showed up and I was, walking down the hallway, I saw this long, lanky Dominican pitcher just walking the halls, looking at the pictures on the halls. And I was like, hey, you're kind of early today. Like, yeah, all right, because he couldn't sleep. And then fast forward that day, he started pitching our extended spring training game that day. So I think he was just excited, one, and just envisioning himself being on one of those pitchers one day. And, you know, he was supposed to be with the rookie team, but he pitched so well in the extended spring, they put him on our short season 18. Now, he was a starting pitcher for us, and he didn't throw as hard as he ended up throwing now. And at that time, he was like 90 to 94. He might top out at 95. But he was just learning how to be a pro, learning who he was. But you could tell he just loved what he was doing.
mm,
And the pitch limit is pretty, it's like 75 pitches, 80 pitches capped.
okay,
And this guy would go 5 innings, 60 pitches. So we got to call the pitching coordinator, like, hey man, he still got 20 more pitches left, and he already know when his capped innings. So he was
mm-hmm,
like, all right, you can send him out for a 6 inning. So he'll do it. And then the next start, he'll be 60, 50 some pitches. He done pitched 6 innings. So we was like, all right, let's call him back. See if he can go out for the seventh. And then he ended up doing it where he pitching 8 innings in short season eight. And normally the starters go 5 innings and that's it.
okay,
And he was going 8 innings. So, 2020 happens and, minor league baseball loses the season.
right,
And then 2021, I didn't have him that year, but he had a really good year in low A. And then fast forward 2022, I'm managing double A. He skips high. He goes straight from low A and they start him in double A in 2022. And, you know, same thing. Now he's throwing 99 miles an hour, touching 100. Put on about 20, 30 pounds. And he's going out there for 6, 7 innings, going like 99.
mm,
A lot of sink in his fastball. And fast forward, he make his major league debut that year.
mm,
And like the thing that this pitcher did was he didn't have a lot of he had a lot of talent, but it was a late bloom. I consider him a late bloomer
okay,
because he signed late. Most if you sign at 19 years old for a
that's
Dominican,
late.
that's like you trying to be the best way to put it. That's like you're a fifth year senior coming out of college,
Okay, okay,
and you a team a major league team give you 2 grand to sign, and go be an org guy.
right,
And so he wasn't a prospect, but he continued to just learn, adapt, adjust. He go from skipping 2 levels to being on his own. Because most Dominicans they stay in the academy when they first sign and
right,
play in the Dominican. and they stayed off the academy in Florida and play rookie ball. Then they go to short season where, you know, the way it was set up then, they went and live with a host family.
Okay.
The food different, like a lot of adjustments he
Everything.
had
Yeah.
made, and he just embraced everything, and he just had fun and believed in himself. He was a great teammate. Didn't really speak English, but all his teammates loved him, even the English speaking guys.
Wow.
And he, fast forward, seeing him in the big leagues, he was still that same guy, just
Same guy.
same guy, same spirit, and now he's learning how to deal with playing in the major leagues. And he went through some challenges that in 2023, and he learned from it. And then 2024 had a really great year, and he just got traded to another organization this
Okay.
off season, in which he's gonna be a starting pitcher in an organization he just got traded to. So
Okay. That's good.
he
That's good,
jumps
man.
out as a guy that didn't have the elite prospect status, but just kept grinding and worked, and the talent was that he was a late bloomer. You know,
Mm, okay. That's good. That's good news. I mean, that gives some listeners some hope. I got to ask you about the Pirates in general. So is Clutch coming back this year? Is he coming back to play one more year with the Pirates?
yeah, I think I saw today he signed a 1 year deal to come back again.
Okay. I was just wondering if he's
Yeah,
coming back because he is like Pittsburgh loves. They love him.
yeah,
Uh,
we love him, man. Like when he first signed back, this was what was that, 2023
yeah,
when
it's
he
23
came
because
back
he went to San Francisco and then he went to Philly. I
to New
think he went
York.
Philly. He
Went
went to
to
all
Phillies, went to the Brewers, went to New York,
and
went
the
to San
Giants.
Francisco.
He went
But
quite a few places.
he like Cuts was the reason why. Like even before started coaching, or even God opened up that door to coach with the Pirates, I started watching the Pirates because of Cuts. Like
Right.
after
Right.
the Bob Bonilla and
Right.
Barry
Barry
Bonds
Bonds.
years,
Right. Right. Right.
I didn't really follow him like that. But Cuts kind of made the Pirates vibrant again. And I remember in spring training '23, because I was there when he got traded. I was there his first
When he came back.
for
When
the
he came
first
back.
few years, and then in '23 I was still there. And I can't. I remember walking up to him. I said, "Bro, it's good to have you back, man. We need you back." Because it's just that guy that just represents the organization, and he's a great clubhouse guy, great leader, and he's a great dude, funny dude, man. Like
Yeah.
when people don't, because he's a ball on the field, but he's real funny. So every time I see him, we get together and just laugh, man.
I like that. I
And he's
like that.
very, very wise about the game, and I see why he's been successful so long because he's very, very, very intelligent.
Well, I want nothing but the best for Pittsburgh. I got one more question before I get close it out. The other pitcher, the number one draft pick a couple years ago, I think he pitched for LSU. Was an All
Paul
Star.
Skeens,
Yes. So
he's different, man.
okay, he's a
He's
different.
different.
He's different.
He more it's when you think about him, like the talent is like the tip of the iceberg,
Mm,
but it's way more to him. Like when you sit down and have a conversation with him, he's different, man.
he's different.
He's different. Like he has champion blood in his bloodlines, and he do everything he can to maximize every opportunity,
Mm,
and he don't think like the normal guy with that type of talent, and he makes others around him better.
mm.
And
Okay.
you know, we like, yeah, people see the talent, but that's he different, man. And I believe we're gonna have a lot of success. And
I
you know,
respect that.
he he understands. He has a passion, strong passion for the game, and he loves to see the game played at a certain level, a high level,
I got you.
and he wants to win.
I
At
like
the
that.
end of the day, that's all he want to do is win, and he gonna do everything he can to position
Okay.
the day he gets the ball to help the team win, but also the other days, man, he's pulling for his teammates. Like
I
he's
love it.
engaged to everything his teammates are doing. Like he's just a good dude, man.
I like that, man. Hey, wait, I've got to close this thing out, brother. This is for you as the player. This is for you. Now it's called the play of the day. Every time I have an episode at the end, it's a play of the day. So I want you to tell me as a player, can you share with the audience one of the plays that was one of those ESPN plays that nobody ever seen that we don't know anything about that you can share? It can be pro, college, high school that you can share with an ESPN play that you've made. I want to hear about it.
In baseball,
In baseball.
hmm, that's a good question.
Hmm. We'll give you a minute, give you another one more question, then we can close it out. I got one more question for you, and you can, hopefully you can answer this one. This is a good question too.
Yeah,
I got
go on
another
to the
one.
next one.
I got another question. This is the
Uh,
last two. This other question is here now. This is you only have 30 minutes. Now, we know baseball is in innings, right? But you got 30 minutes. Who? This is called the post game question. If you had one person that you can play with or coach with, who would that be and why? It's the post game question. It can be dead or alive. Don't have to be alive. Don't have to be dead. And why would you want this person?
oh, I mean, firstly, I would coach or play with this guy,
Either one. Either
Jackie
one.
Robinson.
Jackie Robinson. And why would you want
Jackie
Jackie
Robinson.
Robinson?
Just
Oh, the
for the
shirt.
simple fact, yes, just for the simple fact, the
I like it.
magnitude. I know there's many others that uh, played in the era he did, and he was the one that was chosen, but he represented us well, and you know had the discipline to not retaliate on the ugliness that he experienced, but he represented us well to where we are today. And I feel like if he wouldn't have represented us well, who knows how that could have gone.
Right.
But you know, he was a man of faith, and he walked with integrity and honor, and he played the game fierce.
I like
And
that.
then no matter how uncomfortable he felt, he played the game fearless. And so I
Mm,
kind of take that same mantra,
I like it.
like no matter how uncomfortable I am, I'm still gonna be fearless
I
and,
like that.
and represent because there's another young brother that deserves the opportunity, and I want to make sure that I'm carrying myself the right way so others that look like me can get a fair shake as well.
That's right. I like that, man. Jackie Robinson. That's his play of the day. Now I'm gonna go back to that one last question. that the
Uh,
play the play of the day. That was post game. Post game. You said Jackie Robinson would be your guy. The question is, can you share with the audience? We're gonna close it out. A play of the day you have seen or you've been in that most people don't know about. You can share it with the audience. It's just like a little. It's like a little icing on the cake. You know, I want to hear. I want to hear some. One. Give us one. Something you did, a triple play or anything, whatever. It can be anything. You can be pitching, playing the outfield, you hit it, whatever. It could be anything.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
you know what's crazy? The amount of baseball I've played and seen, I can't think of one, man. Like
Oh,
I'm such a moment guy. I move on.
I got you. I
Uh,
got you.
I don't know. It's like we had so many walk offs. I've seen them, witnessed
Okay.
them, been part of them. Like I never put it all in one cat. Like
Well,
it's
I got you.
this. So I'm horrible at answering those questions.
I respect that. Man, let me just try one more. What about a play that happened last year that you thought was just a play that you can think of? If you were pitching, you was coaching someone, or seen something in your organization with the Pirates. Anything that you can share that most listeners haven't had a chance to see, or
Mm,
it can be skates, the picture, something anything, just something that most people haven't seen or had the opportunity to see because you're at that certain level of coaching, and you can just share with them. It's like, oh man, something they can, give them some hope.
I mean,
Anything.
last year I had I was managing a rookie ball game, and in rookie ball, you don't have sometimes the pitch count is not as high as at the
Okay.
full season clubs.
Okay.
I remember talking to the staff earlier today. I said, man, we only have three pitchers available today,
Okay.
and no, neither pitcher was known to fill up the strike zone. Like they struggled with those strikes. And I said, we got to find a way to cover this game. Now, I don't try to go out and win it.
Right.
And I said, you know what, we're gonna be aggressive and try to find ways to get out. And so we went out. I said we can make an excuse, going into it. And I said we think that way the players gonna sense our energy. We gotta go out with the same competitive spirit, and we gotta find a way to win it. So we went out, man. The team was playing. They, you know, they were lazy on their secondary lead, so
Mm-hmm.
and they were aggressive on stealing bases. So we picked off like we had really good catches at the back pick, like no other.
Mm.
So we had like four back picks, and he threw out like said we got like 8, 9 outs on the bases that day, and we
Mm.
ended up winning the game. Those pitchers threw strikes, enough strikes. They still walked some guys, but
Right.
they
Right. Right.
threw enough strikes where they were able to go out and finish their innings.
Mm.
And to me, it was like one of our probably best wins of the year, knowing
Who was
all
you
the
play?
constraints were open.
Who
Huh?
was you playing against, Coach? Who was you playing against when you managing? Who was you playing against? You remember?
It was rookie ball. We was playing against another organization. I don't want to say because they
Okay,
were
I
poor on
got
the
you.
bases
I got
that
you.
day.
I got you. I got you.
You
I
never know.
respect.
They may
Yeah.
employ me one day, so I don't want to put nobody on blast.
I got you.
But
Well,
we
hey,
we we
I
we
respect that.
exploited them that day on the bases, man. We did that a lot, but we definitely we had to because we had to find ways to get through that, navigate through that game.
I respect that. I respect that highly, man. I want to say thank you, man, for coming on, and it has been nothing but a blast. I mean, Kieran, Mattison, with the Pittsburgh Pirates minor league organization. I really want to say thank you. This is episode 32. You have been nothing but a wealth of information. Which, if you want to give us some closing remarks before we go off, that'd be great. If you want the listeners.
Closing for me is like not just saying it, but put the Lord first. Put God first and Jesus Christ, not just God or vague God, but the Lord Jesus Christ. Keep Him first. And if you don't know Him, be curious. Go ask.
Mm,
Go ask, and you don't know Him because that'll be the best decision you ever make. And if you on this path of baseball, one, He gives you the gift to play it, so don't idolize this game, but keep it in its proper place, and it can take you places that you never would have been thought of because He is that good of a God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So keep
mm,
God first, believe in the gifts that He blessed you with, and keep the game in its proper place, which is second to Him, third to your family.
mm, man. And all thy getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. That's in Proverbs. If you guys don't know where I got that from, and I want to say this today. We had the very own, as I said earlier, Kieran Mattison, and he the manager with the minor league Pittsburgh Pirates. He's speaking a wealth of information. And the question I ask everyone before I close out every episode is, where are you being led? LED. Where are you being led? Where is the Spirit leading you? Where is the path of your life you're going? Where are you being led? And the reason I said that, because the first letter in lead is L, right? Coach, it's L,
Yeah,
right? And L stands
yeah,
for listen. L stands for
yeah.
listen. You have to put on your ears to be able to hear instructions so you can execute, which that stands for E. LE, the E stands for execute. If you listen with your ears from the inside, and execute what you've been taught today, God will give you the dominion to dominate. LED. This is Coach Laurie with You
Okay.
Going Pro, and I'm signing out. Have a blessed and prosperous day. And by the way, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Take care.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and
Don't forget the
always.
reason for the season.
And I was just getting ready to say, remember what is the real reason for the season, and it's not just gifts; it's Jesus Christ. I'm
Yes, sir. Yes, Lord.